Hi there, Jean Greer here at Stylish Fireplaces. Today I want to introduce you to the Dimplex Ignite series of linear fireplaces. The Dimplex Ignite is the original linear, low profile, slim depth linear electric fireplace, and it is still one of our best sellers. One of the first things you're going to notice about the Dimplex Ignite series is the very natural looking flame. Dimplex is really known for their flame quality. They've been doing electric longer than most. They've had lots of time and research and development to perfect a realistic looking flame. And you'll notice that their flames do not change color. So many of the series that I've introduced in the past or on other videos have had flames that can change color. These flames will not change color. There are colored features around the flame, but the flame itself does not change color, and you can see it running here in the 2 units behind me. This series comes in 4 sizes, 50 inch, 60 inch, 74 inch, and 100 inch. The height is always the same, but the width gets longer as you go to each different size. So it is a very low profile unit. You'll see that when it's flush in the wall, as most installations are in this case, this flange is only about 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's not really a frame so much as a self flange that sits up against the wall surface. For people who do not have a 2x6 wall frame or cavity to put this unit into, so normally it would take a 2x6 depth to be fully flush. What they've done so as not to sacrifice flame quality is that 6-inch unit could be installed into a 2x4 wall, and in that case you would use this optional semi-flush trim kit, they call it. So part of the fireplace is going to stick out of the wall if I only have a 4-inch cavity. This trim kit covers up the part of the fireplace that sticks out and gives it a nice finish, and it replaces this 3/4 inch flange. So it's not a trim kit you would use for any other reason, strictly if you're trying to put this 6-inch unit into a 4-inch cavity. The other thing you'll notice about the 2 units behind me is we have different media materials inside. The standard media for this unit is the clear crystal that you see in the bottom unit. The driftwood is an option that comes as part of the package that comes with driftwood, which is man-made to specially fit in a very slim fireplace. And then it comes with real river rocks or little pebbles, which we did not put in this case. We left the crystal there and put the driftwood on top. And then in the top unit, we've replaced all of the original media with black rocks, which is also a very popular thing that people like to see in these fireplaces. So we have several of these in our showroom, so we show them a lot of different ways, but the standard material that's going to come with the unit is clear crystal, and then anything else you choose to put inside would be an option. So as I mentioned, this flame is very realistic. It is a natural color, and I cannot control the color of that flame, so this flame is always going to look like a flame. The nice thing about the Dimplex unit, though, is it has almost endless choices as far as the colors underneath the ember bed and behind the flame. So on the top one, I've got a little bit of red set here. That's a preset color. There are, I think, about 5 presets, and then there is a rotating set of colors, and then there is a set of dual colors that also rotates through. And at any point on those rotating settings, I can hit a pause button on the remote, and it will hold that setting for as long as I want to hold it. So it really has endless combinations, not just a bunch of presets. So it is different from other electrics in that sense, is that there really is a lot of color to choose from, but not in the flame. This is also a dual voltage unit. So Dimplex makes the entire XLF series to work with 120 volt or 240 volt connection. The advantage of 240 volts is that you can have a higher heat output. So on 120 volts, these would give you a 5,000 BTU heat output, and that's enough for about a 400 or 500 square foot area. And that's standard for electrics that connect to 120 volts. But you can also connect this to 240 volts, and it's not a different unit. You buy the same unit, but you would wire it a little bit differently. And at 240 volts, you're going to have a higher maximum heat output. So that's the main reason somebody would do that. Sometimes in basements, even with a renovation, they're going to be a little bit cooler, especially in the winter. So they want to have the ability to heat up a slightly bigger area with a little more maximum heat output. The heat features on this are incredible. It has a normal thermostat setting like a lot of the units do. It also has an eco setting, which is meant to save energy. It pulls the fan back a little bit, but the other nice thing about that is even though these fans are very quiet, the eco feature makes the fan even quieter. So I like that feature if I'm watching TV and I still want the heat on and I just need the fan as quiet as possible. So I use the eco feature for that. The other nice thing it has is a timed heat boost feature. So if I come into the room and it's really cold and I want to get it up to heat in a hurry, I set the timer on the heat boost for 5, 10, 15, or 20 minutes, and it will run the heat and the fan at the maximum setting for the timed amount that I've set, and then it will revert back to whatever it was doing before I turned on the heat boost. So a really nice feature. So very versatile heating system on these, but of course the heat can be off and the flames on like all electrics. And you can have the heater on without the flames. So at night when we want the showroom to stay at a sort of a minimum temperature, but we don't want a lot of heat coming out overnight, we set these to a lower temperature than our daytime temperature, and we leave the heaters on and turn the flames off. And that helps us to heat the showroom in the colder weather because we don't actually have a furnace in our showroom. We use the fireplaces for the heat source. So those are some of the features. I want to step back and show you some of the amazing colors that are in the Ember bed with this unit. So I'm working through some of the preset colors here. And then at number 6, it's going to cycle through and change color on its own, and I can stop it at any point on any of these colors. And then at number 7, you'll see 2 colors, so one below and one behind, and those are also going to cycle through on their own, and at any point I can pause that color and hold it there for as long as I leave it set. And then if I go back to the original setting, there's no lights, just the fire. And you'll notice in the crystal base especially how the flame just seems to be moving through the crystals and not at the back of the fireplace, which is sometimes what you'll notice with other electrics. These Dimplex units really do feel as if the flames are right there in the center as they would be on a gas burner or any other type of flame. So Dimplex has really put a lot of thought into these units. So again, this is the Dimplex Ignite series, XLF 50, XLF 60, 74, and 100. You can find them at stylishfireplaces.ca under Dimplex or under in-wall linear electric fireplaces.